Hi guys, it's Saturday evening here in Manila, so I'm going to go ahead and do my weekend free-for-all video, and this one is going to be a challenge from Mike at Nitro Speed. He had come up with a challenge which is really cool, and this will explain why I got cop cars sitting around the old garage here. This challenge is top 10 muscle cars you would use in a police chase. The ones that you think would be the fastest ones and have the best chance to get away. And then he told us to do the 9 and save the best for last. Like your MVP, the one that you would want to be driving in like the final scene of the movie. And before I get started, just want to kind of give myself a release of liability that I do not condone any type of eluding the police or anything like that. Anytime these guys want to pull you over, please stop and do so. So just to put that out there, I'm not condoning to outrun the cops or anything like that. Always abide by all road laws and things like this. This is just for fun, talking about like what you would do for like a movie type of thing, the cars you would pick to have in the movie to run from the police in. So just all for fun and games. So anyways, since I got that out of the way, let's get started. So anyways, I have 10 muscle cars, and yeah, that was another one of the rules. It has to be muscle cars, no JDM, no exotics, so all muscle. Now, he did not distinguish the years, so I have a wide variety. It's a mixed bag of muscle from the 60s till today. So I have some from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then like 2000 to 2010 and 2010 to 2019. So anyways, you guys will get a nice variety here with my challenge. So I guess in no specific order, I'll do these first 9. So let's get started with the 70 AAR CUDA. And I'll tell you guys why I picked this car. Not really am I going to tell you about the history of the die-cast or anything like that. More or less like the history of the car and why I would pick this one. So the AAR CUDA was designed for the Trans Am series racing. It had a high revving 340 small block with a 6-pack, car with a tuned suspension for handling turns, curves, things like this. So that's why I would pick this guy, because he's built for the road, not just straightaways, but he can do all of the above. Not the highest powered CUDA, but probably the best on a curvy road situation. So that's why I picked him as one of my chase vehicles. So the second one, pretty much the same reason. This is its counterpart of Dodge. This is their rendition of a Trans Am car, and that's why it was called the Challenger TA. So same motor, 340 6-pack, and it's also same type of situation, high revving 340, tuned suspension for the road to handle curves and things like that and turns. So very quick car, light little pony car with a small block which is light too. So very good combination. So this one I don't think I've showed you guys before. Just like the CUDA, I don't think you had seen before. This is a Hot Wheels 100% car. It's a really detailed car. This came from a box set, 1971 box set. So I will fill you in a little bit on the ones that you haven't seen before. Some of them you have seen before, some of them you haven't. So some I'll give you a little breakdown on the die-cast history a little bit. But yeah, those two there kind of come in a pair. That's why I chose those guys, because both of them have the same type of thing. The pony cars are very good for like road hugging, road handling type of things. So that's why I chose them. I didn't choose any big body classic Mopars because of the body flex, body roll, and things like that. They're okay, but in like a police chase, I don't know how well they would do in all reality. So I really think the E-body has the upper hand for the Mopars. So that's why I chose those two. I do have other Mopars in my lineup, but these are the classic Mopars, you could say. So next on the list is a 68 L88 Corvette. This one, obviously, because it's a Corvette, it's built to handle the road and hold the curves and such things like that. But this one in particular is a 427 L88 big block car. So it can handle the curves and stuff at a very high rate of speed. And the big block it has, the L88, had aluminum heads, so it kind of lightened the load on the nose a little bit. So still heavier than your typical like 350 or 327, but not as heavy as like a cast iron headed 396 or 427. So this one I chose because of that. This was almost like my final choice for like the vehicle I would choose for the final chase scene and make my own car for this movie. But there was another one that I liked a little more than this one. And these cars that I picked are not like my top 10 favorites, my top 10 muscle cars or whatever. Just the top 10 that I think could handle the chases the best. I do have cars that I favor more than these, but these I think would do pretty good in a police chase. So the next one is my only Ford of the group, and this one you could see why. This being the GT40, the 1965 Ken Miles car, actually from Ferrari versus Ford. It's the 427 big block Ford, which I'm more of a Chevy big block or Hemi guy. But hey, in this little tiny car, mid-engine 427, it flies. And as we've seen in the movie, it does well over 200, and it can handle the curves and road very well, like in Le Mans. And it has the durability to last a very long time. So this is another good contender for a final chase scene vehicle. But yeah, this one, because of the reason of like I just explained, there's no other reasons why this car is just pretty much unbeatable in a chase scene, I would say. The only other Ford, but I didn't have one, I would have chosen was the 427 Cobra. That I would have picked too. I have one, but it's done by Baldwin Motion for the drag style, so that's why I didn't put that one out here. I wanted to go with this GT40, so I think it would do very, very well in the chases. So that's why I picked him. The Corvette and the GT40 are my two smallest ones. Now let's go ahead and do a couple of big body cars. The first one is my 90s car. This is a 96 Impala SS. Love these cars. Had one of these. I just sold not too long before I came to the Philippines. It was a 96, just like this model. They have an LT1 Corvette motor in them, basically. Tightened up suspension, lowered a little bit. It has the, I think they were 17-inch wheels with a little fatter tire. The cars handle really, really nice for a big-bodied car. This, in particular, Impala, is my favorite for driving. Now, style, you can't beat the early 60s, but for handling and drivability, you can't beat these like 95, 96 Impala SS's. They're great. And I figured this would kind of even the odds. This is like What the cops would use is like the 90s Caprices. So, but that was back in the day. So it just depends when this movie was taking place. But mine would have to take place nowadays because of the newer vehicles I will be showing you guys soon. This is a older Johnny Lightning release, and typical Johnny Lightning paint rash or bubbling, but still a cool model. So this one has the same color mine was like that dark cherry. So yeah, just from personal experience of driving these cars and how well they ran for what they were, and being the big car, they did very well. So that's why I picked this one. So next big body car I picked was a 2010 Charger Daytona. Pretty much the same reason as what the Impala is. They handle the road very nicely, but this is much more peppier than the Impala. This runs much better. Just because of the sophistication of being, 20 years newer. Well, maybe not 20 years newer, but at least like 15 years newer. I think this is a 10 or 11 Charger Daytona. Actually, I think it's a 9 or 10 because it doesn't have the indentation on the door, and I think they started that in 2011. But anyways, same reason. This also kind of evens the odds. This is what a lot of police departments have, so this would be a good one to run with the police. So this is one of the reasons I chose this one, just because of the durability of these bigger body cars. They can hug the road, handle the road pretty good. The newer suspension, steering, and things like that are the reasons I'm choosing some of these newer cars. Because some of the muscle cars I really love and would have loved to have chosen for this, like I'm a big 71 Charger fan, I would have probably chosen it. I just don't think it would do so well in the police chases. So if we're going to figure in reality and such, they would probably do good on the straightaways and such, but I'm not sure how they would handle the turns and curves. So that's why I'm picking the cars that I've picked. Next one is another pony car. This one is by Chevy. It's the 67 Z28. I didn't have any stock ones, so that's why I got this race prepped one, but really they're the same thing. The Trans Am series was pretty much a box stock car with some things done to lighten it up and put a cage in it, and then had their guys tune it, but I think they tried to stick with like factory spec engine and things like that. So we'll just picture this as being a stock 67 Z28 with the 302 cross ram engine, and that's a very high revving engine. These cars flew. They were really good cars to have out on the open road. As I said, the high revving 302. Then their Trans Am style suspension to handle the turns, the better brakes and such things like that. So this is definitely one that I would pick as a top 10 police pursuit vehicle. As you notice, like some of my pony cars, well, all of my pony cars are small block cars, just because of the high revving and also being able to handle the road, because as I said, that's what these three ponies were designed for. So yeah, as you can see, this does have the cross ram on it too. Greenlight did some nice details on this guy. So that's that one. So we got 3 left. Let me straighten these up. As you see, like pretty much nobody gets away from the radio with the police. That's why they're sitting here at the hideout waiting for everybody to return, kind of like a Gone in 60 Seconds type of theme or scene, you could say. So the next one is pretty much my only big body 60s muscle car, and this isn't really big body, it's like mid-size, and it would be the 66 Chevelle. I've had a couple of these and just love the way the cars handle and held the road. They're not huge, but they're not small either. 396, so let's just say this has the 375 horse, the most potent one. So yeah, it did very well. The downside of these cars is that they were four-wheel drum brakes with a single master cylinder, so your I guess you could say safety of brakes on these cars is not so good. But the power is there. And the handling is pretty decent too, even like with a manual box. Actually, I would prefer it with a manual steering box because it feels like you're holding the road and you can feel the road with the manual steering a little better. Sometimes these older ones with their power steering was way loose and kind of very easy, way too easy to turn sometimes. That's why I like the newer ones, and that's kind of why I picked the Impala and Charger, because of the tighter power steering and like rack and pinion style steering too. But to reflect back on the 60s muscle, I had to take the 66 Chevelle just because I have some history with these cars and they do perform very well. As I said, the only downside for this one would be the brakes. And that's if you keep it all stock. Now, if we can mod these cars, if they're not going to be bone stock muscle cars, then that's a different story. But I'm trying to keep this on the lines of like bone stock muscle cars from 60s until today. So, my 80s car. And this is the 87 Buick Grand National GNX, and it would have to be the GNX because of the fact that it is basically tuned by McLaren, has the bigger turbo from McLaren, suspension from McLaren, the fatter tires, bigger diameter wheels. So yeah, it would have to be the GNX. The regular 87 GN probably would do it too, would be a great candidate, but I just think the GNX would handle the road much better, and also it performs quite better too with the bigger turbo. I'm trying to get that to focus for you guys for the license plate, but for some reason it's not focusing too well tonight. There we go. Yeah, 87 GNX. It's got the GNX in the grill. Johnny Lightning did a fabulous job with this car, except the wheels. The wheels, they just painted the like T-type wheels or Grand National wheels all black, and these actually, the real GNX had the honeycomb black centered BBS style wheels like they ran on the Trans Am GTAs, except the centers were black and not gold like most Trans Ams. And the flares aren't too defined on this like they would be on a GNX. They didn't even put the flares, and then the little fender louvers are just decals. But still, this is probably the nicest example of a Grand National that I can find. This is from Johnny Lightning, and it's Johnny Lightning Racing Champions casting. So very nice casting. So this would definitely be the performer from the 80s. The one car I wanted to pick from the early 90s, but I didn't have a casting of it, is actually the, I think it's like a 93 Mitsubishi, not Mitsubishi, but Dodge Stealth RT. But it is based on a Mitsubishi 3000 GTO. But anyways, that would have been one I would have picked because those cars are phenomenal performers with the all-wheel drive, the twin turbo. It was a very well-performing car, but didn't have a casting of that one. That would have probably even been my end getaway vehicle for the final chase scene, which we have that car coming up next. So yeah, anyways, these are the 9. So the next one is going to be our final one for the final chase, which is a Mopar, and it's the newest one that I have. And this kind of contradicts some of the things I've been saying about handling the road and such things like this, because this is just like a quarter-mile beast. The 2019 Dodge Demon Challenger. or Challenger Demon, however you want to call it. But anyways, this is the fastest production quarter-mile car ever built from the beginning of automotive history till now. There's no production car that is any faster in the quarter mile. This will destroy any JDM, any European exotic. It will eat all of them alive in the quarter mile. But for top end and for handling the road, there's probably better ones than this. Definitely, there's better ones than this. Even like the Charger Daytona, I probably could handle the road a little better with it than the Challenger. But just because of the sheer power and acceleration, like the 0 to 60s, 0 to 100, the quarter mile times, makes it probably easier to get away with short bursts of speeds. Then I know you have to take a little more precautionary measures when coming into the turns compared to some of these other guys. So it has its disadvantages, but just the sheer power and acceleration is why I picked this one. And this is the Hot Wheels Super Treasure Hunt version of this car. I think it's the best looking version of this car so far. Although Majorette makes a nice one of the Demon, I haven't been able to locate one here yet, so hopefully I can find one of them soon. But this is very nice example of the Dodge Demon. So this would be my final pursuit vehicle. So all of the other ones are pretty much, I could say, equal, like in how I would choose them, in no particular order. Maybe if I had a top three, it would be the L88 Vet, the GT40 427, and then the Demon. That would be probably my top three. As much as I love the G and X and I love the G bodies, they're powerful, but they are not as powerful as those three that I just listed. The three pony cars built for the Trans Am series are also good contenders. They're a little bit lighter on power compared to some of these other ones, but their handling quality is superb, so it's hard to beat them. So anyways, this is my top 10. As I said, they're not really my top 10 favorite muscle cars in my collection, but these are the top 10 for chases. I think these 10 would do pretty good. And as I said, there's a few other ones that I may have picked instead of a couple of these, but I didn't have any castings of them. So that's why. But these are a solid top 10. It would be hard for me to remove one for something else. But if I had, as I said, the Dodge Stealth, I would have probably scrapped the Daytona Charger for the Dodge Stealth, something like that. But yeah, so this is the ones that I've picked, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, enjoyed the little scene that I have laid out here with the cops surrounding the hideout after everybody meets there and tries to get away. As they say, you can outrun the cops maybe, but you'll never outrun the radio or the police helicopters and things like that. It's almost impossible. So they will eventually catch you, and as you can see, they did. So anyways, once again, no outrunning the cops. We don't condone this, so that's just wanted to point that out to release us of all liability. That's not what this challenge was for. So it was just for fun. Anyways, Monday with my video, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing yet. I'm expecting some packages to come. I would like to do a Team Transporter video because I have some really, really rare variants coming, but I'm not sure they'll be here on time. So if they don't arrive on time, I'm either going to be unboxing it's maybe some Mini GT stuff and some Schuko stuff, but I'm not sure yet. I may even go with some older stuff like Hot Wheels vintage racing cars. I'm not sure yet. Maybe you guys can help me out and put in the comments what you'd like to see. like either JDM, Muscle, or even European. I have some European stuff I could show you guys. But if the Team Transporters make it here tomorrow, I will do the video on them. But if not, let me know what you guys would like to see. So thanks for watching, and remember to check out the other guys' muscle car police chase videos, and check out Mike at Nitro Speed's channel. He's the one that promoted this challenge. And then if you haven't yet, please subscribe, like, and share, and then please comment. I will get back to everyone, and thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you on Monday.